and he's guilty of the sin of pride. Look at the way he blow dries his hair.
Carlyle, I don't want to be president.
How do you think that makes me feel?
I'm glad that you got secretary. Carlyle, I'm not going to be a preacher.
Getting president doesn't mean you have to be a preacher.
Do you want to see something?
You didn't tell me you were applying to seminary school. Oh, Whitney, I think that's wonderful. Look, you typed all the answers.
My dad filled it out for me. He wrote all the essays so that I wouldn't tell them I was a Hindu or something. Now all it needs is my signature, and then it goes in the mail, and wham! I'm behind a pulpit.
They might not accept you.
I was just voted president of the youth ministry. It's the kiss of death.
They still might not take you. It takes a lot more to be a good preacher. You have to be blessed with strength and faith and love of your fellow man.
There's something more.
What?
You have to be a good public speaker. I suck.
Not so awful.
You saw me this afternoon.
You knew if you won, you would have had to make a speech. You should have had one ready.
I did. My dad gave me this old 5-page speech on the positive power of prayer in adolescence. It was right in my back pocket. And you saw. I practically fainted, all because of the word puberty. I couldn't stand up there and say puberty in front of all those ladies. They would have choked on their egg salad. I suck.
Then they probably won't take you.
They'll take me. I make all A's and my uncle is on the board.
My mama says you have the calling.
Dad says that there are only 2 honorable professions in the world. Carpentry and preaching. And they have a tie rack for his birthday in the woods split. That's my calling.
Where are your folks?
Cleaning up after the picnic. Then they're teaching that single seminar on finding a mate for God. Dad says a lot of nice bachelors show up. He thinks your mom should give it a try.
Can we get sit on the porch?
It's hotter than hell and there are mosquitoes.
You shouldn't have had me over if your parents aren't here.
We've been seeing each other for what, 2 months now? I'm still afraid I'm going to get a face full of tear gas when you brush up against your knee.
Whitney, I made a list of things we should start doing.
Ugh.
First, I think we should make those Wednesday night sing-alongs at the nursery home mandatory attendance for the entire group. I hate singing by myself. It keeps the old people from joining in. They think it's a solo. Miss Willoughby, she tries to help, but she always sings the wrong solo. I could be singing the doxology, and she still thinks it's Indian love call. It embarrasses everybody, but she refuses to wear her hearing aid. Second, I am sick and tired of the way people keep coming to the fellowship parties for the food and not the faith. It makes us look bad. Part of that is your responsibility. If you tried harder to recruit people from school...
I was going to go out for the football team, but that's shot to hell now. Can't be at practice and Bible study at the same time.
You told me you hated football. I don't know why you want to play now.
Everybody plays.
Who?
Arthur Horschel and Michael McAfee.
But they're mean to you.
No, they're not.
Yesterday they put Vaseline on your steering wheel.
It was a joke.
You zigzagged the entire way home.
It was funny. Besides, if I was on the team, do you think that they'd do that?
But you're so much better than they are. Mama says you're the only decent boy for Miles. She'd rather talk to you than most people her own age. She says boys like Michael McAfee and Arthur Horschel have one-track minds that lead straight to hell, and knives where their flesh should be. But not you.
Thanks.
Which brings us to the third thing on my list.
What?
Thelma Peeler.
What about her?
You mean you don't know?
How would I?
Your friend Michael McAfee took advantage of her.
Michael wouldn't be seen with Thelma. He's captain of the team.
What's worse, he did it on a dare. Arthur Horschel took a pool and the entire football team bet he wouldn't do it. They wound up paying him $50.
Somebody started a rumor and you believed it.
It's true. I know she has those pimples and orthopedic shoes, but he did it just the same.
Did what? Kiss her through her mustache?
Made her pregnant. And he wouldn't even offer to make it right. His family just gave her family money for one of those operations. She wasn't about to let them kill it. So she ran away, and now there are patrol cars looking all over the state for her. Can't you just see her clomping down the roadside in those big black shoes? They'll catch her in a minute. And then her family will send her back to one of those detention homes after they cut the baby out. And it wasn't even her fault, it was his. Anyway, I think the youth ministry should take a collection for the birth of the baby.
Well, if the kid looks anything like his mother, the first thing we'll need is a clean shave.
Stop! Don't be ugly. And don't go thinking Michael McCaffey is any great shakes just because he's captain of the team.
Is that the list?
We have to pick out verses for next Sunday's meeting.
You can.
You have to help. You're president.
My dad probably rigged the election. Ted should have gotten it.
You don't want it because you're lazy.
I don't want it because the guys don't think I'm a fairy. Ted should have gotten it because he is one.
He's always at Sunday school. And he always wins the Old Testament crossword puzzle contest.
He hangs around the grammar school and feels up 5th grade boys.
He'd never do that. Not in cold water. He'd be in jail.
He gives them dollars. They buy cigarettes.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
I don't think about 5th grade boys.
Talking about it, that's pretty bad.
Well, you're welcome to change the subject.
If Ted were really a homosexual, he wouldn't be Christian. It says so in the book of Leviticus. He'd be struck dead and his blood would be upon him. Do lots of people know about him?
Everybody at school suspects. I don't think that his parents know.
If I were his mother, I'd do whatever I could to keep from finding out.
He always stops and talks to me in the hall. People think we're friends just because I'm not mean to him. He asked if he could borrow my world history notes right when Arthur Morrishaw walked by, and I said yes. Suicide.
Can't you be just a little mean?
What am I supposed to do?
Well, if he's really homosexual, don't talk to him.
I'm just supposed to stand there after he said hello and looking all expectant? One time he got me in real trouble. We had lockers next to each other in gym class. We were getting undressed and he bumped into me. I felt him. Part of him was touching me.
Which part?
I couldn't move, I just froze. Then he started.
What?
Horrible assault. I know he did. Because later the coach had to assign me to a team. Nobody would take me. No one would even talk to me all because of that fucking fairy.
Have you been reading that book for English?
On and off. It's boring.
Is it really obscene?
If it were, it would go a lot faster.
It doesn't tell any of the details, does it?
About what?
Well, it just says that she's pregnant and that she has to wear the A. It doesn't tell how she got pregnant.
I don't think that she did it some new or unusual way.
Marcia says nobody even kisses in the book.
Are you still failing?
Of course, if I can't read the books. Stories about unwed mothers, naked boys on islands who slice up pigs, plays where men sleep with their mothers. If I didn't know Mrs. Ratchet on the textbook committee, I'd swear it was a dirty book club. Mama says they might as well pass out copies of Hustler magazine. You ever seen one of those magazines? Oh, Whitney, you have!
Everybody has, except you.
You're the new president!
I didn't look my choice.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
It wasn't my fault, all right? Arthur Morrishaw cut out a bunch of pictures, and he taped them on the inside of my gym locker while I was in the shower.
Why do you do that?
So that when I came back and I saw the pictures, they could rip my towel off.
Why?
It was a test.
For what?
Never mind, but it worked. It was a joke, all right? I laughed.
What were they like?
Pictures.
Ladies?
No, sports cars.
Men too?
No.
Just ladies?
One. One had men.
It's so disgusting. I couldn't live with myself if I saw those pictures. I'd want to stab myself.
They're just paper.
They were just lying there?
Yeah, or standing by pools, or bending over to pick up footballs. One of them was wearing a motorcycle helmet. I don't want to talk about it.
Mama says that most of the people who would pose for that trash are ugly anyways. I bet they all looked half deformed.
They seem pretty healthy to me.
Looking at them must be so lonely.
When I was looking at them, I sure felt a whole hell of a lot more like they were looking at me.
Must be like those Shriners posters with the burn victims on them. You've never bought one of those magazines, have you? You don't have one like lying under your bed or sitting somewhere in the house.
I don't have the courage.
So gross. They must have had something on.
Some of them did.
Like what?
Hats mostly.
And they were just standing there facing the camera?
Yes.
But you couldn't see. You know.
That's the whole point.
You could, all of it?
Stop asking questions.
So disappointing. People can be so gross. That's what makes us imperfect and unworthy. People looking at trash like that when they're lonely or bored, when they could be looking at so many beautiful and inspiring things. Like I saw this book in the library of Michelangelo with color plates. Now he was a genius. I could look at that book all day. There's this one statue of Christ right after they tore him from the cross. He's stretched over Mary's knees, and he's naked except for this little cloth, looking so beautiful, just twisted there in the folds of his mother's dress. He's smooth and angled at the same time, but he's bleeding from all of those horrible wounds. You look at the wounds and not at the angles. He just lies there as you stare away. Or the slaves Michelangelo carved, they're naked too, and bound with rope, and their muscles are rippling and snapping like rubber bands. But if you look real close, you can almost see tears on their little stone faces. I look at them and my heart beats. Hard. They're beautiful.
My mosquito bites need stitches. Can't we go inside?
Only if you keep the door open.
Why? I promise I won't wake you.
It's for appearances, Smarty.
So if I do wake you, you should close it.
I can't. What are your folks going to be back?
11.
That class lasts 4 hours?
And chips and dip and everybody knew.
Close the door. We're losing all the air conditioning.
But
It's a sin to waste. Look at this. You left the hall light on and the porch light on. That's nicer.
I can't even see you.
Of course not. You're way over there.
Hello, Carlyle.
Hi, Whitney. Do you think I'm pretty?
Oh, yes.
Damn. Mama says the ugly girls are the lucky ones. They don't have to worry. I was visiting Miss Willoughby and she showed me a picture of herself when she was my age. And she was perfect. Just like an old-fashioned china doll. She never got married her whole life through. She was never together with a man. And now, as sweet as she is, her face looks like a road map, and her teeth are all pushed out and yellow. And all I could think was, boy, is her chance over now. If I were as pretty as Miss Willoughby was, I'd be worried all the time that time was running out. I wouldn't want to waste being pretty on being good. So I don't want to be all that pretty.
Are we going out together or what?
What do you mean?
Well, you're over here every night, or I'm at your house. We studied together, now we're on the youth ministry, and we've never even kissed.
Whitney.
Makes us abnormal by no standards.
But
Sort of reverse perverted.
You can kiss me.
You're not my grandmother.
You can kiss me on the lips if you sit on your hands.
What?
Or go hungry. Mrs. Maxwell found out I made all A's in art, and so she put me in charge of the decorations for the pep rallies and football parties. Arthur Horschel is having a party tomorrow night at his father's barn, but it's not school sponsored. He wants me to do the decorations, and it sure would be good practice, but I don't think if I should go out there, it could be chaperones. What do you think?
Can I kiss you again?
Yes. You moved your hand.
I know.
Take it off,
Move it.
please.
Listen, Carlyle, if you really like me, you'll do me a big favor.
I said take it off, not move it up.
I think it has a mind of its own.
No.
Look, it's no different than when somebody brushes up against you in the grocery store. That's not simple. Just pretend that I'm reaching for the can of peaches only I miss. Excuse me, miss. In which aisle might I find a can of peaches? 7? Thank you. Let's see, canned apples, canned cherries. Ah, here we are, peaches.
No, it's not.
I want to make a whole fruit salad.
Work it out.
Please, Carlyle, I need this.
Nobody needs it.
Oh, yeah? It's all I've been thinking about. For weeks, years. Ever since I was in the 6th grade. I lose sleep some nights because there isn't enough blood to go to my brain. I can't concentrate on anything. I look at cars and I think about back seats. I see people crossing the street and they're all naked. I look at this couch and I know it folds out. It's driving me crazy.
Mama lets me see you because she knows I'll be safe. You're not like Michael or Arthur.
Just like them, they're not as brave.
Mama knew I'd let you kiss me, she'd kill me.
We don't have to do anything. Just let me put my hand there. Just once. 5 seconds. You can time it.
I don't have a watch.
You're not 12 years old. We're both 18. We've never done a thing. Don't you think that's a bit weird?
Whitney.
Just 5 seconds. No more, all right?
No more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I said you could put it there. I didn't say you could flex it.
My palm itched.
Try again. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Was that counting fast?
I'm not sure.
You count.
1,000, 5, 1,000. 6, 1,000. 7, 1,000. 8, 1,000. 9, 1,000. 10, 1,000.
Don't you dare! God is not ready for me to fornicate.
What?
I wouldn't say it unless I was very serious.
Who said anything about what's wrong with just groping?
I can't go to bed with you or anybody else, no matter how much I'd like to, which might be very, very much. So please don't think it's you. Very cute, sweet.
Even in the Bible, sometimes people made it when they weren't supposed to, and God forgave them.
Torture me, you don't understand.
No, I don't.
I had a revelation,
What?
a celestial vision. One night while I was sleeping, I heard this soft chorus of bells from upstairs. Only my room was on the top floor.
Carlyle, you don't.
Oh, listen to me. I want to tell you I trust you. When I opened my eyes, my entire ceiling was on fire. We had just had the room painted green, and now it was white with heat. And I thought I might still be dreaming, so I went downstairs to get a tab because I thought that caffeine might help me wake up more, and I'd stop hearing the bells and seeing the fire.
Carlyle.
Listen to me. When I got back upstairs, it was all still there. When I crawled into my bed, my sheets turned into pillows. And I looked down at the carpet, and it was whirling like water. And I wasn't scared, even though my entire room was a vortex. My closet doors turned into gold, and all these angels flew out. And they were boy angels. And they were all naked. And I was really embarrassed because I'd never seen a naked man before. And they didn't look like Mama said naked men should look. They were huge and clean and smooth. Like a plastic baby doll is smooth. There was nothing there. And I knew I was safe because they were angels, so it wasn't dirty. Only mortal naked men are dirty. Only mortal men slice you open and leave a baby and run away. And then I noticed that I was naked. Beautiful. And they told me I was being preserved for the heavenly host. And they all crawled together, and I got kind of nervous, but they said they'd give me strength, and so we sat together naked and abstained and read Bible verses. We read the rites of purification from the book of Leviticus and sacrificed a lamb right over my pillow and 2 turtle doves. So you see, Whitney, there's a real reason.
All that you had to say was no.
I'm not lying. Lying would be sacrilegious.
Please say that you're joking.
Not about this.
We can't do anything because I'm not from heaven.
I'm sorry.
When do you think all this happened?
Late July, the night after the fellowship pool party. You remember Michael McCaffey's bathing suit fell off in the pool and somebody hid it in the bushes?
What was all that stuff about being beautiful and not wanting to waste it?
You don't know how hard this is for me. I want to so bad, and I can't. I think about Miss Willoughby, and I worry that time is going to run out for me too, and I panic, but I can't. If I could, you'd be the boy I'd choose. I love you, Whitney, but I can't. Think of it this way. If God and I went to the same college and he were in a fraternity, I'd be wearing his pin. I know that's a stupid way of putting it, but that's how serious it is.
You had a sex dream.
Why do you pretend like I didn't hear that?
Maybe you should read some of those books for English. You might loosen up, or learn something. Or maybe you should go out and pick up one of those magazines you're so curious about.
You're being mean.
That's about the dumbest story that I've ever heard. I'm desperate, so you tell me about all these naked holy rulers? And I'm sorry, but I think that your mother is just a little fry.
You don't know anything about my mother.
And you are so fucking holier than thou. You want to know something? Katie Whitmore, Vice President of the Student Council, screws Arthur Horatio. And Barbara Mercy gives head to the entire defensive line.
And Val Peeler slept with Michael McCaffrey. Look what happened to her.
Arthur, Michael, all the guys, they're all making fun of me. They know that I've never done a thing with a girl. They told the coach about it and he moved me to an empty locker bank. And somebody took a black marker and wrote fag on every page of my calculus textbook. Even the index. I went to lunch and instead of a banana, there was a dildo. I can't take this shit anymore.
Girls who sin wind up alone.
What about Miss Willoughby? She's alone. Please, Carlyle, you have to help me. They don't let virgins on the team.
You'll wind up going to hell.
I'm already there.
You're so much better than those other boys. You don't need the same things they do, Whitney. You're chosen. What are you doing? You can't do that.
I'm not such a great person, all right, Carlyle? All I want right now are two things. To get on the team and to get laid.
Your father's going to be so mad.
Fuck him.
You're turning your back on God, Whitney.
Fuck him too. You are one hell of a prick tease.
Please, Whitney, I'm not. Every night I pray for strength to get through the next day without thinking about it. Pray with me, Whitney. You can take back all those things that you said. It has frustrated people like us who fall from God's grace and become rapists and prostitutes. Our God is a jealous God.
You're not being lusted after by God. God doesn't